can we just go back to last night and that moment when you brought up 3 figures on your home ground? Just what was that like?
Yeah, obviously an amazing feeling. Nice to contribute, nice from last week, obviously, to make the most of some good form and good fortune, and feel like I'm moving well, playing well, so yeah, nice to make the most of it.
Is that, you look like the most disappointed bloke I've ever seen walking off with 175 next year, Did you feel like you left a few out there?
Yeah, I did. 286 runs, and I've been pretty filthy about the last 2 weeks. Obviously 99 last week and run out this week. So amazing how the game works. It's a great humbler, and I'll enjoy it at some point. But obviously I felt like there was a few out there. So you don't get many opportunities to, I guess, feel the way I did and be in the zone, be in the way I was feeling, the situation of the game, to really make the most of it and dip my bread. It was disappointing way of ending, but has to end at some point.
Have you come here with a slightly different plan to chant the ball?
Sorry?
To chant the ball the way you guys bowled to him tonight, especially the way Cameron Green bowled to him. Is that slightly different to how you guys looked at it?
Yeah, well, we went to that play in Perth and only took a couple of balls to get that, and I guess we know we've got it in the back of our kit bag, I guess, and he took it on. So high risk, high reward for both teams, I guess. It may go for a few runs, but then presents a wicket. I think would have come in that over when one for 17. I think you take that every day of the week if you get the wicket. So obviously we got that plan if we need to go to it tomorrow. I think whether we can start with it or not, it's up to Smithy, I guess. But I think that there's an opportunity there, definitely, and we've seen that in Perth.
Imagine you faced a lot of Michael Nisa in the nets and in Shield cricket. What did you kind of make of how he went tonight?
Yeah, I felt like batting on the wicket, if we presented the ball a slightly fuller length and brought the stumps into play, then we'd be dangerous. And Ness does that to a T. I think all our cricks do that to a T. And adapt to the conditions really, really well. And I think we're able to do that well. We pitch the ball up with a new ball, and then we understand when the ball gets softer and the wicket gets a bit better, then we can drag that length back a little bit. And I thought they did that beautifully today, and they were able to get the nicks that we required, and put us in a nice position going into tomorrow.
Trav, after Pakistan Sri Lanka, there was obviously a bit of talk about India too, and I know it's a while away, but do you feel like runs at home this summer does help your cause, or is it almost not as well given the services?
Yeah, runs are runs. I can't do anything until I get there and the conditions present themselves. All I can do is worry about what we're doing at the moment, and you can't look too far in the future or look too past in the past. I think it's a form-based game, I guess, and all you can go by is how guys are going at the moment. So nice to be contributing, but there's that tour coming up, and we'll prepare well for it, and hopefully I'm on it.
And can I take like the start of your summer, South Australia was tough at times, for obviously playing great wickets the whole time, but what's been the difference between what happened there and then the last couple of weeks in Australian colours, be it one day Test cricket?
Not a thing. Literally not a thing. I spoke to Diz about it, I spoke to the coaches about it. I felt like I was playing really well, found some interesting ways to get out in that little period, I've honestly felt like I've been playing the same way and honing that in all season. I felt like I've been like that for the last couple of seasons now, and comes with experience, I guess, and playing and understanding that it's not far away. And you can go back to performances and periods, and one thing I've been able to always do is come out of form slumps as such, or periods of no runs. I don't think I've gone for a real extended period without trying to find a way to contribute in some way, in some sort of runs, whether that be a partnership even in a game. So I knew after 4 or 5 misses that it wasn't far away. I was hoping it wasn't far away, and then obviously the one-day series broke it open for me a little bit, and I've been in some nice positions to bat over the last 2 weeks, and been able to make the most of it, which is the most important part. So, from start of the season to now, I don't feel like much has changed. Probably slightly better wickets as well, but been and batting in some nice positions of the game.
Travis, how was Cameron Green about the mix-up? Did you have a chat to him?
I just said we'll move on, let's get on with it. So. He's probably a little bit flat. Probably everyone can probably sense that a little bit, but these things happen. 10-minute changeover, so we're out in the field pretty quickly. So I didn't see him in the middle of that. I just walked past him and just gave him a tap on the shoulder and said, let's go on with it.
For the second year in a row, Trav, you've had to bring 2 fresh new bowlers in for Adelaide. How much confidence and how impressive is it that they can come in and hit a six split straight off. Scott's first spell, hit a dime. Michael Lees obviously got the lead. Just how much confidence does that give you at the depth you have available in fast bowling?
Yeah, well, we see it day in day out in Shield cricket, don't we? So we face these guys week in, week out, and the two in particular, Ness and Barrel, have done it for 10 years of Shield cricket. So they've been around my whole career. They haven't changed my whole career. They've done the same thing over and over again. And it's great to see them go to the next level and continue to do the same things and do it well. A bit flat with Baz. He hasn't got a wicket yet, so I'm not sure what he's doing. But I said that to him in the first couple of overs when LB shout first ball. It was back to the same old Scott Boland. So, it's great. And we know that, and I think we've got to know the depth, and it's exciting obviously to have Lance in the sheds now as well. Someone who's really, really exciting. So we're in a strong position. There's a lot of bowlers that could be in this team. We've been very fortunate to have 4 or 5 very, very good ones over the last 5 or 6 years that we haven't seen these other guys. We have full confidence in them.
You've known Scott Boland a long time now. Is he aware of that bowling average? Like, does he talk about it? The fact that it's gone over 10 now and he needs to bring it back?
Scotty doesn't say too much. Baz is a pretty quiet guy. Everyone else probably saying it, mainly myself and Harry. So, but no, Scotty's one of the beauties of the team. Brings a unique, personality. His skill set's ridiculous, and we've known that for a long period of time. I don't think it's going to start at 10. I think everyone knows that at some point it's going to probably drift out, but we might as well make the most of it while we're at it. So hopefully he knocks a few over tomorrow and can keep it close to 10.
And about your numbers, I mean, different batters look at like home numbers and away numbers differently. Are you someone who focuses on that at all, or like you said earlier, it's just about form?
Just about what's next. So at the moment it's one more innings in Adelaide and then we go to Brisbane. That is a different skill set needed at the Gabba, and then we go to Melbourne, which has changed a little bit over the last 12 months. We've seen a greener wicket there than in the past, and then we go to Sydney, which looks like a dry square, looks like it's going to be flat, looks like it may take some turn. Obviously playing the one day there a few weeks ago, so week to week out you've got to change your mindset or what's going to work, same as Perth to here. So I don't get too worried about all the ins and outs. Just make sure that my prep's really, really good, my game plan's sound, and try and best execute it.
Jess and Melanie travel, has she seen you back often with your daughter?
She's been asleep a lot, I think. I think they were here yesterday until about, I'm trying to think. I think they were coming back. They came back when I got out, when I was coming, so I think they watched a little bit. She slept through the whole night for the first time last night, which was nice. And maybe she stayed up a bit late to watch. So, no, Jess has been awesome. They've come today. Jess's mum come in the box today to support her. So, it's nice to have them here, and they're with me for the rest of the tour. So it's nice.
Just with the fields at Chandipal, have you ever seen? When was the last time you saw a man right behind the keeper like that, sort of a backstop?
Not 2 of them. Smithy's come up. Smithy's obviously tactically very good. Could have done it a bit earlier. We were on down his throat, but we'll come up with some different things. I think you've got to at some stages. Obviously, they're good players, so any way to try and create a wicket and trying to get him to do something different, which we were able to get a couple of shots out of him. It looks like he's going to take it on, so presents a nice opportunity to try and take his wicket.
And just on your bowling, you've clearly been working on it quite a bit, sounds like. Can you talk through that process and even what's been the mindset there?
I've only really bowled with Dan Victoria since I got here, so haven't bowled much obviously in the summer. A whole load of reasons, being captain's one of them, and Nathan McSweeney obviously at the Sacra, we're trying to put some development into him, and obviously bigger picture stuff for us. I'm not around a hell of a lot. Balance of the team and trying to expose guys to first class cricket has meant that I took a bit of a step back in bowling this year, but knowing in the back of my mind once I come into the Australian team, and it probably was when Maxi obviously had his injury as well, around that one day period where the likelihood of him playing that one day team and bowling meant that I was going to maybe bowl a few overs in the one day. So got with Wiz and started working on a few things, and I've got Gaz, so I do enjoy it, but it's not something that's full front of mind. I want to be batting well and making runs, but on the side it's something that we're working on a little bit.
You touched on that with Maxi, and I know you're clearly focused on this series, but in the back of your mind, is that also with India that you might be bowling a bit more over there? Yeah,
well, we've seen that in Sri Lanka. I guess if you can add another string or whatnot and help, and obviously Gaz and I bowl completely different. We talked about that last week. not quite sure how I chimed in for 2 at Perth, but yeah, it's a different skill set. It comes out differently. It does help on day 4 or 5 when there's rough. Obviously, it brings me into the game. Day 1 and 2 a bit differently against high quality batting, but yeah, obviously it comes out the hand a little bit differently. We've seen that in Sri Lanka. We've seen that in Perth. Yeah, I'm working on it with Wiz at the moment, who's unbelievable at it. I really, really enjoy working with him. So, yeah, it's been nice the last couple of weeks. But, yeah, it wasn't something that I was too worried about until, I guess, the role popped up that needed to bowl a bit more.